Texting and drinking is never a good idea. We've all done it, and we've all regretted it. The drunken texts you forgot you sent. Prospectors collected them in Texticated on Rock 107.
From area code 973 in Newark, New Jersey, just wrote the directions to get to the girl's house I'm hooking up with on the back of my marriage certificate. Officially, worst husband ever. Area code 859 in Lexington, Kentucky. I sometimes set my phone's alarm to go off every few minutes so it looks like I have friends who text me. And from the 908 in Far Hills, New Jersey, her goodie bag looked like a handful of raisins.
You hit send, and we hit the floor laughing in Texticated on Rock 107.
From Los Angeles, California, area code 323. You got into a fight last night. Reply. Yeah, some dude in the bathroom was standing there, and I noticed he's got the same shirt on me, and I'm like, dude, you should have called me. We looked like idiots. He didn't say anything, so I got mad at him and hit him. Completely decimated the dude. My hand was bloody and covered with glass afterwards. Never saw him again that night. Answer. Did this guy happen to look almost exactly like you? Have you ever heard of a mirror? From the 206 in Seattle, Washington. I just tried to pick up my 105-pound puppy and accidentally fingered his backside. Reply, there are some things we keep to ourselves, Brian. Montreal, Canada International here with the 514. Just so you know, the whole club saw your boobs last night and booed.
Hey, we found him in your telephone in Texticated on Rock 107.
Area code 347, Queens, New York. Can I sleep on your couch? My wife just found my eHarmony account. Indianapolis, Indiana from the 463. You puked into the top of a beer bong while I was chugging from it. I puked too. Yeah, she kicked us both out. And from the 917, Portland, Oregon. In the morning, she rolled over, looked at me and said, "Ooh, you look like I need a drink." Then she got dressed and left.
Proof that booze and cell phones don't mix. In Texticated on Rock 107. Breaking the news that's already broken. It's time for Prospector's Briefs on Rock 107.
Paris Hilton lost her Malibu home to a wildfire. The good news, that's where her recording studio was. Zach De La Rocha turns 55 this weekend. These days, you'll find him raging against the blood pressure machine at Walmart. Tom Brady posted photos of him throwing a football shirtless. Man, I hope this doesn't give Terry Bradshaw any ideas.
Making sure breaking news stays broken. Tune in Monday for Prospector's Briefs on Rock 107.
Mr. Manley here with lesson number 634 in How to Be Manly. It's the dawn of a new year, and people are all talking about resolutions. So I, being manly, jumped right on board and joined a gym. I decided this year I'll buff up and look better, if that's possible, for all the women in Northeast PA. The gym had a personal trainer named Mike, and Mike informed me that exercise is wonderful, but if you want to achieve your goals, you have to eat proper foods. He gave me a card for a dietitian named Wendy. Well, I called Wendy, and she fit me in that afternoon. When I arrived, she had just gone off her treadmill, was snacking on raisins and nuts while having a protein shake chaser. Of course, I was thinking to myself, I wouldn't mind a steady diet of her. She asked me what my current diet consists of. I said I usually have coffee and a donut for breakfast, a sandwich for lunch, then pasta for dinner, and out to the pub for a beer or two. She said, from what you're telling me, you put nothing but carbohydrates into your body. It's amazing you're not heavier. She said, I recommend you get more protein and vegetables in your diet. For example, eggs for breakfast. You can still have a sandwich for lunch, but maybe some fish for dinner. I'm having orange roughy tonight with rice and broccoli, and there's more than enough, so why not join me, and I'll treat you to a healthy dinner. Of course, I accepted, thinking this was her coy way of saying we'd have each other for dessert. The dinner was delicious, and she explained to me that meals don't have to be saturated in butter. She said the rice was sprinkled with my vinaigrette, the broccoli steamed, and the fish marinated in olive oil. After hearing this, I thought I could return the favor and do so in a manly manner. If you ever find yourself in a similar situation, follow along in your manly manual, page number 634, and repeat after me. Number 1, hey, Wendy, sprinkle your vinaigrette on this. Tastes better than rice. Number 2, check out this broccoli stem. It comes with 2 sprouts. Number 3, you like marinating in olive oil? I do too. By tomorrow morning, we'll both taste delicious. Then Mike enters. You remember Mike, the personal trainer, who also happens to be Wendy's husband. Mike and Wendy both belt you in the jaw, which now has to be wired shut. As you eat through a straw for weeks, you'll realize just what kind of man you really are. Until next time, this is Mr. Manly saying be manly and good day.
Life's pretty tough right now. There's plenty of bad news, but it's not all bad. It's time for the brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107.
You know, it's not often when you hear good news and airlines in the same sentence. A woman in Dallas reached out to thank Delta for helping her say goodbye to her mom, who passed away in October. She was trying to get to Bismarck, North Dakota to see her when her flight got delayed, and she would have missed her connection. But the pilot heard about it, got in touch with the next pilot, who agreed to hold the plane until she got there. They also bumped her to first class so she could get off the plane quicker. The second flight waited about 30 minutes. Her mom passed away the next day. She wrote online that Delta's kindness gave her an extra 24 hours with her mom and let her say I love you one more time.
Thanks. We needed that. The brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107. The following rant may cause you to pull your hair out, scream at the radio, punch the dashboard. Complaints should be addressed to loudmouthyambag at rock107.com.
Hey, I'm Rock 107's Prospector, and here's what's got me, Jack. You ever notice how we've reached the point where technology is supposed to make life easier, but instead it feels like it's mocking us? So I'm trying to send music from my iPhone to my HomePods at the house the other night, and what happens? The Apple TV starts blasting like it's got something to prove. Like, oh, hey, you didn't choose me, but I'm here anyway. And let me tell you, I'm not a Luddite. I'm not one of those people living off the grid, wearing sandals out of hemp and talking to squirrels. I love technology, and I want it to work. And most times it does. But at this point, every device in my house is smarter than I am, and they know it. The iPhone's like, oh, you want to send music to your HomePods? Nah, I'm going to beam you to your neighbor's Bluetooth speaker instead. Let's keep things spicy. The HomePods are all smug, sitting there thinking, we can play it, but we like watching you squirm. And don't even get me started on that Apple TV. That thing is the ultimate show-off. It's like, oh, you wanted Zeppelin in the kitchen? Too bad. Now everybody in the living room's listening to your guilty pleasure. How about a little ABBA on the big screen, huh? And it's not just Apple devices. Every gadget is seemingly part of this conspiracy. You ever try to connect to Wi-Fi? Suddenly, every network in a 5-mile radius pops up except yours. Your router's like, well, I see you there. I just don't feel like it today. And don't you love how these devices are all interconnected now? They talk to each other behind your back like they're planning a coup. My fridge starts sending messages to my phone. My watch talks to my thermostat. And I'm pretty sure my toaster's working for the NSA. At this point, I'm convinced these gadgets are screwing with us just for fun. Like a tech hazing ritual. Oh, you thought you were in charge? That's adorable. Now go reset your HomePod setting for the 37th time today, you tech-savvy little monkey. We're just along for the ride, folks, and the gadgets, they're driving the car. And by the way, it's an electric car, and it just drove itself into a ditch because it lost its connection. I'm Prospector. I'm for the people. Who's with me? I gotta go crazy, man.
Ever see the crazy guy screaming at the wall outside the Times building?
Where does this rage come from, my son?
Tweet us with hashtag I found Prospector, and we'll come and get him. Prospector, mornings on Rock 107. Life's pretty tough right now. There's plenty of bad news, but it's not all bad. It's time for the brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107.
You know, it's not often when you hear good news and airlines in the same sentence. A woman in Dallas reached out to thank Delta for helping her say goodbye to her mom, who passed away in October. She was trying to get to Bismarck, North Dakota to see her when her flight got delayed, and she would have missed her connection. But the pilot heard about it, got in touch with the next pilot, who agreed to hold the plane until she got there. They also bumped her to first class so she could get off the plane quicker. The second flight waited about 30 minutes. Her mom passed away the next day. She wrote online that Delta's kindness gave her an extra 24 hours with her mom and let her say I love you one more time.
Thanks. We needed that. The brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107. Listen, gentlemen, grab the kids, call your neighbors, and gather around the radio.
It's now time to announce the winner of Prospector's Yam Bag of the Week, as decided by you at rock107.com.
We uncover the most baffling, ridiculous, pathetic, cockeyed, laughable, preposterous blunders in the world of misdeeds. Nominee number 1.
There's nothing like the good vibes of carjacking. A 46-year-old man in Miami named Hassan Rican carjacked an Amazon delivery truck. Police say he hit the driver in the face and then drove away with the truck. That may sound violent, but when cops tracked Hassan down, he was wearing a red shirt that read "Good Vibes Only" in bubbly lettering. He also had a tattoo of a sunflower on his chest. He's facing charges for robbery, carjacking, and battery. An Amazon spokesperson says no packages were stolen.
Nominee number 2.
This is what happens when the designated driver at a New Year's Eve party does not abstain from alcohol. Police in Southern California pulled over a swerving driver at 12:40 a.m. last Wednesday, which was, of course, New Year's Day. The man told police, "I was just dropping off my friend because I'm the DUI tonight." An officer said, "You're the DUI tonight?" And the guy responded, "Yes, sir." The officer then asked, "Did you mean to say the DD?" There's body cam footage of the experience, and the man later admits to drinking a beer and some champagne a couple of hours earlier on New Year's Eve. Police asked if he knew his friend's number, and he says, quote, "Not off my heart," end quote. Then the man badly failed field sobriety tests multiple times and was arrested and booked for DUI, so I guess he was the DUI.
Nominee number 3.
A huge swath of the country just got nailed by snow and ice, and it's always nice to see stories about people helping others out. This isn't one of them. A 32-year-old man in St. Louis got his car stuck in the snow while trying to get into a parking garage on Sunday. Luckily, another guy in an SUV showed up and helped him get out. But then things took an unexpected turn right after that, when the same guy who helped him immediately robbed him. The man who got stuck parked his car in the garage. Then the guy who helped him walked up with a gun and demanded his keys. The guy gave his car keys up, ran off and called the cops. But it turns out the jerk who robbed him never actually took the car. It was still in the garage when cops got there. They're still trying to track the guy down.
Nominee number 4.
All right, if I tried this, they would have immediately pepper sprayed me. Have you seen the video of a Hooters waitress trying to flirt her way out of a DUI? Her name is Sophia Rose. She's 22, and it all happened in Sarasota, Florida, way back in mid-November, but the chest cam footage is all over social media right now. She kept calling the cop Daddy, saying she wanted to make out, then told him to stop being such a nerd about it. She also pulled her sweater up at one point to show off the Hooters shirt she had on. He pulled her over around 2 a.m. She didn't get breathalyzed until 3:12, but even then, she was still 4 times the legal limit. Her blood alcohol was 0.33. Unfortunately for her, the flirting didn't work.
And the winner is
the drunk driver who accidentally said they were the DUI instead of the DD. Turns out they were right all along. And they're the Yam Bag of the Week. Keep it here for all of the nominees for Prospector's Yam Bag of the Day, weekday mornings on Rock 107. Thanks for listening to Prospector's Prime Cuts podcast. Be sure to catch us live weekdays from 5:30 to 10 a.m. on Rock 107 or online at rock107.com or the Rock 107 app, a free download for your Android or iPhone. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, or wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss Prospector's Prime Cuts.